Welcome to Mama's Teaching Tips.
Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series at Mama Teaches Me. To start off the year, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to plan annually for your homeschool. Now, before we begin, I'm offering my annual plan templates up on the blog. There'll be a link in the description box. We've got months, themes, and then an English section, a math section, a topic section. Now it's up to you how you want to do this. I'm also offering the editable versions, a Word version and a PDF, and you can change it around to whatever suits you. I thought it'd be good to talk about some of the benefits of planning annually. First up, of course, it's good to have a plan to fall back on, especially when things are changing in the homeschool or you've got unexpected visitors or pregnancies, whatever it is, it's just always good to have something to fall back on. Another benefit of planning annually is keeping within a budget. Now, sometimes we can get really excited by a bargain offer or something on sale. Keep within some kind of budget, at least for your homeschool, so you don't go way over what you expected for that year. And then, of course, it's really beneficial to have the resources that you need ahead of time, especially when it comes to trying to locate reserved library books or just, making sure you've got what you need at the beginning of the year. So every so often you're not running off to the shops or to certain stores to find what you need for certain topics or studies that you might be doing. And the last and final point is less stress. I'm someone who definitely needs a little plan, knowing what I'm going to be preparing or doing, whether it's a couple of days in advance or a week in advance, even a month in advance. So knowing what I'm going to be doing each part of the year just really helps me to forward plan. Not everyone works like this, but you might find that you won't be worried about, have I covered this in homeschool? Did we miss a bit of this? Have we done enough English? Those sort of things, I think, come in really handy when you think about your annual plan. You can divide up how you might be teaching your English or your maths units. Getting back to the annual plan, you can start the plan from January this month, or you could actually start from whenever your academic year starts. Mine tends to start in September because we spend the summer in England, but sometimes it's easier to start afresh in January. So I've labelled all the months, and next is the themes. To show you, here's an example of our current annual plan. And if I just show you the months, we go into August. I think we got back here in August, so we used a bit of that week. Really was a prep week. Started in September with our theme on the story of Musa alayhi salam. Then we continued into October with Black History Month. And then our big project was the body, and it carried on into November as well. We did have some short breaks in between. I haven't actually got them in, but there were a week off in between as well. We're currently in January, where it says we should be having a 2 weeks break. It's pretty much so, although we're finishing off a little bit of the habitats theme. We've picked our themes based on our own interests and what we want to do. You can continue your themes based around, I know a lot of people look at nature or seasons. So whatever it is that you decide for your themes, you then incorporate whatever you need for your English. So the next topic we will be starting in January is recycling. And for English, we're going to be looking at letter writing. So we're going to be thinking about maybe persuasive letter writing or writing to the local council or whoever it is here in Saudi Arabia that we would be able to write to. For maths, we've kind of decided we want to do geometry and shape. And then over here in the topic section, obviously we know via the theme what our topic is. So it's very much about science and materials, and there'll be a little bit about geography as we'll be looking at the differences between recycling in Saudi Arabia and in UK. So we've got a lovely book that we're going to be using called What a Waste. Because we gather all our resources before we come back to Saudi Arabia, I've already picked up the books and things that we need. So it's really beneficial for me, and if you're an expat like me, I highly recommend it. But even if you're not, if you know that there's a certain book that you need to buy, it kind of also helps you narrow down the topic, so it's not as broad when it comes to looking into the key areas, especially for the younger children. So here's a little glimpse of some of the books that we've purchased to be able to use in our homeschool when the themes will actually come up. So here's the book, What a Waste. And we've got this really cool one, 1001 Inventions and Awesome Facts from Muslim Civilizations. Another purchase I do make is photocopyable sheets or activities. And I tend to always go with the Scholastic range. I really like their activities. I like how they're linked to the national curriculum. Going through, say, for example, adding and subtracting several numbers, we will take what we need from the sheet. If the worksheet doesn't work out to the kind of activity that we're doing, we just skip it. We pick and choose what we need, and that way it makes our homeschool more tailored to what it is that we need. So here's an actual photocopyable, and this one's quite cool, a science one. Again, we've only really photocopied a few of these, but it's great to get ideas in. Sometimes we don't really just do worksheet work. So going back to our annual plan, I've just jotted down what a January theme could be. So if you are experiencing winter right now, your theme could possibly be winter carried on from December. You could change your focus for the English and maybe look at winter poems, see if you can find some, and then make up your own. And then for maths, you could be focusing maybe on number bonds, I don't know, whatever it is that they're doing in maths at that time, and depending on the age of your children. But to tie in the topics to winter, you could have science experiments to do with ice and cold, looking at cold habitats, or looking at winter celebrations. So for the topic, the reason I wanted to show you this is that you got science, you got geography with the habitats, you got religious studies, I guess, with the winter celebration. So how all the different other subjects can be tied in to that particular theme without you having to take out, little time slots, weekly to fill in all the different subjects. They don't have to be monthly plans. It's fine if they're also a couple of weeks in the month, and usually mine tend to go across months. But for example, here we've got October, we had 3 weeks, we had the body, and then we needed another 2 weeks. I think I dragged it on a bit and we ended up doing 1 week. So our themes do sometimes sort of go across the months, which is fine. You tailor it to how you feel you need. But what's good to know is, say for example, back to your annual plan, you know that in February you will be going away on a trip. You can add that as into your plan, and then just not plan for that particular time of the month, or incorporate a theme into that. So a couple of years back in January, we actually went to Malaysia, and when we came back, we used that opportunity to do a really fun study on Malaysia using the experience that we had. So we tend to go back to England, so we might be starting some gardening here in the summer. So that would be a theme that we'd have. And because I know what theme I'd be doing at what stage of the year, I won't be in a panic thinking, oh, we haven't done enough, and oh, we haven't. Because once you start, you make a plan, you know exactly how much you're going to be covering. And so you can continue filling out your annual plan like that. It might take a bit of work, like you won't actually finish it in one day, I don't think, unless you've got all your ideas from before. I highly suggest you sit down with your children and ask them what kind of things they want to learn in the year. I found that really helped. Or you can give them an option or a choice and say, would you like to learn this or this? Or you could also just use this as something that you want to fill in as you're going along, because some of you might not have had all your ideas at the start of the year. So you might, sometimes I do actually just plan up until June, and then for the summer we sort of, we kind of unschool anyway, but we know it's always some nature sort of learning and, just lots of activities outdoors because of the summer. So it's absolutely up to you how you plan to do it. If you found this beneficial, let me know. If you do already annual plan, do you have any other tips for anyone? I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and like and turn on the little bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. Thanks for watching.